So large enterprise versus startups. For a large enterprise, you're already established. You already have all of your licensing, typically. And and when I say licensing, typically independent licenses, that allows the organization to offer more products and services independently. One of the key differences that I have been learning and enjoying in the last 3 to 5 years working with startups is the program management perspective and relationship, meaning there's a bank oversight that sponsors the program, and basically working with that bank at, technically, in my own words, they're our regulator, but of course, FDIC and FinCEN, they're the regulators. It's just, the bank is over us. So there's that closely knit of being together with those banks. And same thing, I'll just keep jumping. For startups, you don't have to have it perfect, but definitely have the fundamentals and essentials of the program, such as policies and procedures. And even that is always changing, right? You're trying to figure out the new solution or the new application that you're using to onboard or to monitor customers and their transactions. I would have to highlight with a large enterprise that typically they already have the gamut of like the monitoring and the controls framework. With a startup, you're like tweaking all the time. You just don't know what kinds of customers will come in, and so you're constantly having to evaluate: are the rules working? Are they not working? And it's a fine balance between making sure that you're also supporting the business, because too much control can hinder the account sign up and the revenue potential for the transactions, right? And same thing, in a startup environment can be risky. And when I say risky, funding and anything can derail that forward facing aspirations if things are not set up with fundamentals or the correct foundations. And the reason I'm saying that, preparing for the worst case scenario, risk assess everything. Do we have enough funding? Do we have enough bandwidth to deliver all of the products and services that we want to offer our customers, right? And again, I think the advantage of a startup is, at least from my experience in fintech, everyone's excited about the latest and greatest like tools and solutions to help automate with automation and just being smart about stuff. One of the things that I will say, in large corporations, I think we can all share that, oftentimes there's a bunch of legacy systems that large enterprises use, and that can be a disadvantage. So again, it's that fine balance of staffing as well as being aware of all the amazing solutions that are coming out there. I was recently in Money 2020 in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and it was such a privilege and an experience to be able to attend. I was mind blown. I thought I knew quite a bit of what's in the space, especially in fintech, but my goodness, that platform, that experience, I met so many folks, so many new solutions that I'm like, oh my goodness, it's going to make compliance even better, to actually work in. Oftentimes I find myself and my team basically coming up with everything from scratch, like Excel spreadsheets and documents, risk assess this, but there are solutions out there that compliance professionals can use, is what I'm saying. And, makes our lives so much better and exciting. All right. Some of the challenges, and again, you can imagine between a large enterprise and a small enterprise, and some of these are actually fresh as well from CFPB, from the Money 2020. But the number one challenge is data privacy. They stress that, and data privacy and consumer protection around people's information. The second is cybersecurity, consumer laws and regulations, employee misconduct, financial crimes, and corporate governance. I don't want to get into each of them in detail. I think you guys can understand what they all kind of mean. But yeah, it's not just external customers, if you will, that can pose as a risk, but employee misconduct as well, leaking information to the public, if you will. And for consumer laws and regulations, I know one of the best practices that we have is horizon scanning and ensure, and again, working very closely with the regulators to make sure that we are ready for any of the changes from regulation, that we're able to support them. And of course, financial crimes, fraud, money laundering, financial terrorism.